Also, if you have any questions,
the questions, yeah, Azman
Okay.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look forward to that.
So if you can share the questions, please.
if you can share the questions to me on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
we'll be able to set it up at the back end and then run it during the event.
Yeah. If at all I require.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if you have any questions,
yeah, Azman can do that.
Yeah, of course. And also, I'm just checking if I want to stand up and then show them something.
Yeah, we'll be able to set it up at the back end and then run it during the event.
Yeah, if at all I require.
Yeah.
Imran sir, can I stand up and speak?
Sir, your face is not visible, only from.
Yeah. I'll just keep some height here. I've got a few minutes before, and then I'll make the arrangements.
Please.
You can go ahead and welcome people.
Well.
And then I'll unmute myself. Mute myself. Okay. All the best, Imran sir.
All the best, sir. Azman bhai, welcoming the participants inside.
Will allow everyone?
Yes, I'm allowing everyone. Yes.
Okay.
The sound is echoing. Did you check where the relay of sound is happening?
No, this was on YouTube. Maybe it was just looping back. I have disabled it now. Yeah.
Imran sir, is this angle okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So let's welcome Imran sir. 2 minutes before we start. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Very, very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for connecting with us much before time. We got a minute before we get started. My request is to please keep your videos on, check with your audio. It's suggested always to use a headphone, so that will be helpful for you to keep up with the intensity of learning. And hello, everybody. I can see a lot of our students joining in. Hello, everybody. Let me welcome you all with a greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Blessed evening, good evening. How are you all doing today? Great. Look at the excitement and energy out there. So I'm really excited because this is like a unique session altogether. Let's find out what our body has to say much beyond and beyond what we want to or intend to say. So thank you so much, all the wonderful IICCB members. Thank you for being here much before time. And it is 7 o'clock right now. It's time to say welcome to all of you for this wonderful webinar on NLP and body language for business communication. My name is Imran Beg. I operate as a CEO, Handwriting History India Private Limited, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for this exciting webinar. I'm sure you all are excited, and I'm also here welcoming all the wonderful members of IICCB, all the students community of Dr. Rafiullah Beg spread across the entire nation. And thank you so much, dear students and dear members, for connecting with us. It is 7 o'clock right now, and as Rafi sir always emphasizes on starting the sessions on time, I like to go ahead and give you this glimpse of what exactly you can look forward for this webinar today. Rafi sir has been into this field of specializing non-verbal communication, especially handwriting analysis, body language, and NLP for more than 27 years right now. Just to give you a glimpse of the legacy of Dr. Rafiullah Beg, he got certified in the year 1998 as one among the youngest and the first Indian to be a certified handwriting analyst from Handwriting University International, USA, Los Angeles. He's somebody whose interviews have appeared in almost all the leading newspapers of the country. Just to mention a few numbers, it is close to 200 different articles written on him and the analysis he has done on various famous personalities and the way he has contributed towards the student community. He has to his name the largest number of TV shows done on education, done on promoting champion mindset in student. He holds the maximum number of, anybody has done a maximum number of episodes on the national television talking about the possibility of anybody changing their life for better or a normal student becoming a champion student. He also has to his name the numerous radio programs he has been doing over the years, talking about the possibilities, how people can change their life for better, and how students and parents can come together and make a beautiful and happy society. He's somebody who is known for hosting Happiness Summit, which ISCC members have actually experienced it and attended and saw the value not only for themselves, but also for their family members. He has to his legacy, lakhs of students spread across different parts of the world where they practice handwriting analysis. And in this COVID time, there are actually COVID warriors basically contributing happiness to the people around them by analyzing the handwriting, by understanding their mindset, and contributing that little smile on people's faces and reducing the stress levels of everybody. So I can go on and on, but let me mention a few more accomplishments of Dr. Rafiullah Beg. He's a TEDx speaker, and he's somebody who is a very sort of speaker in the college community, in the organizations, in the corporates. He's also an author of a book, very, very, very intense and very beautifully designed book, Bring Out the Champion in Your Child, and somebody who curates program for children and adults. I can go on and on. So just to give you some of all the things which I'm talking right now, here is a short video presentation which will give you a sense of what exactly you can look forward and how students and individuals have got benefited being with Rafi sir. So ladies and gentlemen, can I see some energy, please? Can I see some smiles? Can I see some excitement? Can you please keep your video on? Because this is about body language and this is about NLP. And if we don't get to see each other, how can we actually get onto the learning part? So identify a learning corner for yourself so that there's nothing disturbing you for the next few hours. And please make sure you have your name mentioned on your device, and also add your city name so that we know which city you're representing on this national platform. And once again, welcome to all the members of IICCB and all the student community of Rafi sir. Here is the video for all of you.
I met this amazing person, Rafi sir, and the kind of person he is, we can't put in words actually. He's a very amazing person, very loving person, and the support he gives is unconditional. The support, love, what he provides to everybody, whoever comes here, it's unconditional.
Rafi sir ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಥರ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿದ್ದು ತುಂಬ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೋದು. ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
For me, Rafi sir is my guru, my teacher, my coach sir now. He's an amazing person. The energy which he has, the enthusiasm, the positive energy, the people around him also, get stinged with it, and they also abide in the same positive energy.
God has given you that power to heal yourself. Mind is the biggest medicine that you can ever have. It's the biggest lab that you can ever analyze anything. You may be very well read, you may be highly educated, and you may be the guru in your field. But you know what? If your belief system is not positive, it's not going to give you the result.
Whenever I'm down in my personal life and official life, if I'm just thinking about my Rafi sir, that energy level is high. And Rafi sir is a motivation person and is a knowledgeable person. He's like a big banyan tree.
He made us realize we are home engineers and housewives. How important we are to the family, how we contribute so much to the family.
I have no words to say for him. He's like the perfect person I've ever seen.
Just by remaining yourself and accepting yourself exactly the way you are and exactly the way you are not, you can create a life of extraordinary success.
I met Rafi sir in July 2012. He's a bright personality full of love and enthusiasm. He's the best person I've ever seen, and he's the best coach, and he has changed my life forever.
He is a divine personality. Thousands of people got transformed out of his teaching.
If I think of Rafiullah Beg, he is a source of energy, powerhouse I can say. He inspires people with his energy level. Rafi, in practice, he has awakened the Jai within me. We are going to know.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kalim al-ma'bad. A very blessed evening to everyone. Welcome to this exclusive training session on NLP and body language for business excellence. It's my profound privilege to be here this evening and extend this training program to all these wonderful participants. Just before I begin, I want to thank IICCB and my team members for this excellent opportunity given to me. And today I'm not going to present a lecture on this topic, but rather I will be extending my training so that you can learn and use it and benefit from this amazing science of NLP and body language. We'll start with certain requests that I would like to make for all the participants here. Request number one, please treat this as a training program. That means you will participate in the program. So it's not a lecture program. I'm not going to give you information about NLP and body language. Information is available on the internet and you can have it anytime you want. But I will be here to introduce this science in a way that it becomes a skill in you and then you are able to use it. And for that, please participate with your videos on so that I can see and you can see me, we can see the body language, you can see the NLP in practice so that you can benefit immensely. And request number two, please keep your devices away from you like your cell phones and other things which may distract for next few minutes. We will have a very interactive session here. I would like you to ask your questions, clarify your doubts, and then learn this skill so that you can use it immediately. And request number three, please put in your name along with your city name so that I know that you are calling from a certain city and then it will be easy for us to connect with you in detail. Okay, these are the requests and then I proceed further with this topic. On this call here, we have some of my students who are participating. I want to extend my warm welcome to them. And on this call here, I have my brother Imran Beg, who is coordinating with me. I want to extend a warm welcome to all of them, including my brother and everyone here. And brothers and sisters, please treat this as a training program. And then I would love to interact with you. And then you use these skills, ask your questions. We'll have a training session that will help you to have a skill, not the knowledge. The greatest aim of education is not knowledge, but action. I repeat this statement. The greatest aim of education is not knowledge, but action. That means to say we get into action-oriented only when we are into a training program. So please get ready and then feel free to put in your questions as and when I give you an opportunity, use the chat box and feel free to interact with me when we open the question answer session for each one of you here, okay? So proceeding further, the first statement I would like to make in this training session on NLP and body language is this. Listen to me carefully. The statement goes like this. If you do not understand my silence, you will never understand my words. And I would like you to slowly repeat it in your mind and then listen to this statement again. It's on your screen as well. If you do not understand my silence, you will never understand my words. Now, this is the statement on which we are going to extend this training session for all of you here. We have been trained to follow the language, the words, but we have never been trained to understand the silence between the words. And that's where NLP and body language comes in straight away. So we follow the words, we follow the pronunciation, we follow the diction, we follow the languages. But what we don't follow, or rather we are not trained for, is the silence. The silence between the words is something that we always miss. And that is the most powerful communication that anybody can have with you, with his silence. And today we are going to decode the silence between the sentences of a person. And that's where body language and NLP comes in picture. So let's understand the silence between the words. If you don't, then you will never understand the words of a person. Well, please focus on understanding yourself using different platforms here. And then one of them that you're going to use today is to understand your body and also your expressions, your facial expressions, your gestures, and the silence between. And I will extend it one step beyond when we start actually focusing on NLP. And that's where you're going to focus on the eye movements, the breathing pattern of a person, and the expressions in silence. How is it going to help me in business is the question that you would like to ask me. Now, whether you're a businessman, a trader, a teacher, a parent, or an individual or a student, it is so helpful for you that when you understand people from their body language, you understand them completely. Because if you understand the way the communication works, if you divide the communication into 3 parts, now let's understand how the communication works. Now, 100% communication, what percentage of my communication is done by my words? What percentage of my communication is done by my pronunciation, my diction? And what percentage of my communication is done by my body language and gestures? So I'll take this question and then you're free to answer on the chat here. If you divide 100% communication and then into 3 parts, I would like to give I would like to request you to give you the percentage. What percentage of my communication is done by my words? What percentage of my communication is done by my pronunciation and my diction? And what percentage of my communication is done by my body language? I would like you to take this opportunity, put it on the chat. What percentage of my communication is words? Very good. We start with the accurate answers. Very good. And what percentage of my body language? We got 50%, 10%, 7%. But the person who put in 7% to begin with on the words, I think he was dead right. KP, 7%. Very good. Now, what percentage of my communication is done by pronunciation, my diction, and then what percentage of my communication is done by my body language and my gestures? Now, think about it. You don't have to be right about it. You don't have to get the exact answer, but you can take a guess and then answer me this question. And this will open up a complete understanding of how effective communication is done, both by words, both by diction, and also by the body language. And that's what we are going to now look at. I'm so happy to see the participation on the chat here. Thank you very much for taking the trouble. And now I would like to give you the information about the percentage of communication done by the words and the diction, the pronunciation, and also the body language. And once you understand the concept, you will understand it much more clear, the silence between the words. Now, just before I get into the percentage of communication, I would like you to know something about our mind. Let's find out how does our mind function. Now, brain and the mind, are they the same? Is brain and the mind, are they the same? Obviously, they are not the same. But however, if you ask me the definition of mind, what is mind? I would like to put it in a very simple sentence. Mind is the function of your brain. I'm repeating my answer. Mind is the function of your brain. Now we are going to study the function of your brain called mind, and the mind can be classified into 2 headings. And the brain can also be classified into 2 parts, the right brain and the left brain. But the function of your mind can be classified into 2 different parts, conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, what percentage of mind is conscious and what percentage of my mind is subconscious? Let's find out right away. So take a guess and tell me what percentage of your mind is conscious and what percentage of your mind is subconscious by nature. If we have divided the 100% between these 2 parts of your mind, what percentage would you give it to the subconscious mind and what percentage would you give it to your conscious mind? Now, the answers are again now coming up 60-40. It looks like a BDS site, 60-40, 30-40, 90-10. 90-10 informs about 90 ml and 10 ml. Well, it's very interesting combination. 99% subconscious, 80-20. Well, very good. Arul Moses says 80-20. Okay, conscious mind 20, 80%. Jayaprada says 10% conscious, 90% subconscious mind. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your interaction on the chat. Now, Gauri gives the right answer along with Jayaprada. Yes. According to the psychologist, 10% of our mind, only 10%, 10% of our mind is the conscious mind. And whereas the subconscious mind is 90%. These are the basics of psychology. 90% of our mind is subconscious in nature. Now, let's figure it out how it's going to help us in communication. 10% of our communication is conscious communication, obviously, because 10% of our mind itself is conscious. So the 10% that comes out, approximately 7, 8, 10%, which comes out, basically we are very conscious. We select the language, we select the grammar, we select the pronunciation, we select the diction, we select the spellings, etc., etc. So we are very careful, consciously speaking and then communicating. Whereas while we are doing this 10%, 90% of our subconscious mind is doing something else. And that 90% of our subconscious mind is in charge of our body language, in charge of our facial expressions, in charge of our gestures. And that is something that we cannot control. So you can control your words, you can choose your words, you can choose your language, you can choose your pronunciation, but you cannot choose your body language. Because the body language is completely in charge of the subconscious mind, which is 90% of your mind. And that's why we always have communication problem. And always have you heard people saying that I have got communication gap with this person? I don't understand this person. I do not know what this person is all about. And they have been living for quite a while now. And these complaints are not between the relatives and the family members. This is between the family members, which are close family members, husband and wife, parents and the children, brother and the sister. And this is how they say misunderstanding, communication gap. All this happens because we only focus on the words, what they speak, but we don't focus on what is the feeling behind the words they speak, what is the silence between the words, and what is the gestures, and what is the body language. And today we are going to decode it one by one. It's going to be interesting. You're going to have a lot of fun. And also, when you learn and interact, you can use it immediately to understand people by the way they walk, by the way they talk, the way they move their hands, the way they do with their eyes movement, and then the moment they breathe. Oh my God, you're going to get into subtle things about their expressions and gestures, and then you can quickly understand what's going on in their mind. So, is it exciting? Are you ready to learn? Are you finding it interactive? And are you finding it easy to follow me? Just put in one yes if answer is yes, and I'll be very glad to know that my English, my communication, my body language, my gestures are all connecting with you, and then you're following it in a way that I can communicate effectively back to you. And then I would like to extend my thanks for your wonderful participation during this session. And I have a humble request for those people who have not kept the videos on. Well, this is not a commentary. I don't want to give you a lecture. That means you have to put in your videos on. I request you to please put your videos on so that I can see you, can see me, and then we can exchange our communication using the body language. Otherwise, this will become a commentary on body language and NLP that is not going to serve the purpose. So thank you very much for keeping your videos on. And now I would look forward to give you the vital information. Now, if we divide our communication into 100% and divide it in through 3 different headings, that is words, pronunciation, and also the body language. How does it really show up? Let's find it out on the screen right now. Our communication can be divided into 3 parts, and then the first is the words, which is about 7% of our communication. Now, guess what's the percentage for my pronunciation, my diction, and my language, etc.? It's going to be 38%. Now, we are left with 55%, which is exclusively marked for the body language and our facial expressions and gestures. And that is how our 100% communication is done. Would you please take a note of this? You can take a screenshot of this, and this is going to be very handy for you to understand our effective communication. Now, we are only focusing on words, and we have been trained in our schools and colleges at home to speak effective words, pronunciation, grammar, and all that. But tonality is 38%, and the body language is 55%. Now, how I can mix and match this? Let's see. If I don't use my body language and I say only my words, watch me carefully. I'm going to display how without body language, your pronunciation or your communication comes out. Now, if I come here and I say, everyone, blessed evening, welcome to the program. Thank you very much for joining. It's only 7%. I'm only using my words. Okay. Now, if I make slight changes here, and then use my tonality, and then say, blessed evening, everyone. Welcome to the program. I am so happy to be a part of this program. So I'm using my tonality, my diction, my pronunciation. And now you can see from the first example, the second example is slightly impressive. Now I'm going to use the third example. That means to say I'm going to mix and match all these 3 things, my words, my pronunciation, and my body language. And this is how I can use all the three and then do a different welcome. Blessed evening, everyone. Welcome to this program. I'm so happy to be a part of this program. And today we are going to learn body language and NLP in a way that is going to transform your communication altogether. I mixed and matched all three of this: words, diction, body language. Which one do you like? Obviously, the answer would be you like me to use all three of us. Now, we have been not trained to use our body language unless you go into acting school. Then you learn how to use your body language. But we don't have to go into an acting school to learn this, but we can do it in our day-to-day communication. And sometimes in your silence, you can say so much. And that is by learning the effective, positive body language with right gestures and with right tonality. If you can mix and match all the three things, you will leave a lasting impression on anybody who is in communication with you. And that is how top actors, if you look at top actors like Dilip Kumar Sir and Amitabh Bachchan, if you look at these people, these are the people who have been extensively trained to use all the three effectively well. They know how to play with the words, they know how to play with the tonality, they know how to play with their body language and the facial expressions. And that makes them super duper actors. And then we love them, whether they are doing a tragedy scene, whether they are doing a comedy scene, whether they are just being themselves. You can see the tremendous coordination between these three aspects of effective communication, and they always win the hearts of the audience because of their effective communication. Now, how many people would like to have effective communication using all the three together, and then you want to leave a lasting impression, and you want to have an effective communication in your businesses, in your family, with your relatives and your family members and your friends? So please put in yes on the chat box. The moment I get the yes, I'll be extending more of the information. Tomorrow, you're going to be so glad that you attended this session. And then those people who say yes, participating, and then I want everyone to please use this platform to use the information that you're going to learn and the training that you're going to have. And I'm very happy to see those people who are put the videos on, and then they are able to see me and then able to see them. It's really going to help each other, because this is a session on body language and NLP. I cannot teach you by commentary, or I cannot teach you by giving information or a lecture. I need to see and then interact with you. Thank you very much. I'll be very happy if my ISCC members also put in their videos on, and then they can get the maximum out of this session. However, those people who are with the videos on, they are going to connect with me much more effectively. Okay, let's now find out the aspects of our words and our pronunciation and diction, and also our body language and gestures. Now, sometimes we don't speak, and then the silence speaks. Imagine your husband is upset with you, your wife is upset with you, and then you want to start a conversation, and they always say, and then they snub you, and then they move around. I can see the smile on the married gentleman. I know married gentlemen, you are so used to this. Now and then, when your wife is upset, you know what happens. She goes for silence, and then the silence is really going to be indication of a storm to come. After the silence follows a lot of storm and lot of loud voices and tears and drama, melodrama, dialogue. Now the silence is where you need to understand that something is now, warming up, and then you have to face this. Now, many a times, children don't speak, and then they just remain silent. How can we understand that silent part of them so that we can connect with them effectively well? Herein what comes NLP, body language with neuro-linguistic programming. Now, I'm going to start with body language and then take you to NLP, because I think body language is the foundation on which you can see the science of neuro-linguistic programming coming up effectively well. Now, the body language starts with expressions, gestures, and the total body language itself, how you use your hands, and then also your eyes for the communication. However, there is something that is very important before that. And this is called as the social spacing and then intimate spacing, the distance that you maintain between you and the person with whom you are interacting is very important for you to respect. And this is why most of the gentlemen lose their image, because they cross the boundaries of the social distancing. Now, when we talk about social distancing, coronavirus is different from what I'm mentioning here. Now, what happens in day-to-day activity is if you know the person who is close to you, for example, you know your family members, you can definitely go into their intimate zone. Now, intimate zone is about a few inches from you, maybe 1 or 2 steps from you. You're too close. You can go closer to the person without any hesitation. You're welcome, and there is no problem, because these are people who are into your intimate zones. Like your spouse, your kids, your parents, they are all going to fall into intimate zone. And you can easily touch them, and you can do high five, maybe you can hug them. And this is normally accepted within the family members. This is intimate zone. But you cannot go into the intimate zone of a person who is unknown to you. I cannot go closer to an unknown person. Even if I'm a man, I'm talking to a man, I cannot go to an intimate zone of a person about whom I do not know. And this is where many people cross the limit. And if you're talking to the opposite gender in particular, the zone has to be respected very, very carefully. And many a times we cross this from social zone. You know, social zone is where you can look at the person, possibly extend your hand to shake hands. That's a social zone. Now, if my social zone is respected by a person with whom I'm interacting for the first time, I'll be comfortable. But if the person who's meeting me for the first time is crossing the social zone and is getting into my intimate zone, now I'm feeling highly discomfortable. And now this is between a man and a man. Now, perhaps if this is between a man and a woman, it's going to be a highly uncomfortable situation. And ladies don't like this. And they always go away from you. And then they'll go and warn other ladies. And then lady goes, kya kare tum na? Kya bhi kare nahi, magar ekdam samne aang poch pad jati ho. Now, this is a mistake that you have done by crossing the social zone into an intimate zone. Never do this. And don't do it even if you're interacting with the same gender. Always respect the social zone. Let them come into social. The public is in the public zone. And the public zone, they come into social zone. If they are meeting with you, they are speaking to you. And from social zone, they can go into intimate zone. Intimate zone is when you become close friends, when you know each other, you can touch each other, you can hug each other. And that's the intimate zone. And it has to be respected when you meet people for the first time, second time. And then by the closeness at which you are interacting, you will understand the effectiveness. Here, I would like to quote an example of a couple. I am fascinated to watch people in action. This is something that I would love to teach you. Always observe the way people use their body language, and you can do it with a distance. If you're sitting in a restaurant, if you're sitting on a balcony, and you watch people moving around on the roads, you will understand so well about what's happening. Even though you're far away from them, you can't hear their words, but you can decode their body language. I'll just give a couple of examples. If there is a lady and a gentleman, and they are walking, and as they're walking, they're slightly able to touch each other. You know, their elbows are touching, okay? And then perhaps their hands are touching, and it is not done consciously. They're just walking, but in the walk, they come so close that they can touch each other. This is an indication of a couple who is in love, who are intimately involved, and who are together from the subconscious level. Okay? Now, if another couple is walking, and they're making sure they don't touch each other, and they're making sure that they are like strangers. Don't touch me, don't touch me. Especially when they are upset with each other, they will never allow anybody to touch them. So if that is the case, then you understand the rapport between that husband and wife is not as effective as what we saw in the first case. So this is called as non-sexual touch. The more non-sexual touch we see in the relationship, it may be between husband and wife, it may be between the family members. They touch often, and they touch it unconsciously, that they're sitting together and they're sitting together and they're touching each other unconsciously. And then they are interacting together, they're touching each other. And this is an indication of bonding, how well, how strong, how intense is the bonding. The more intense is the bonding, the more love and the more intimacy is felt in the relationships. And we encourage you to do with your kids. Touch your kids, especially the kids who are under the 10 years of age, especially the parents. Parents need to touch them, and you have various ways of touching them. One is you can do high fives with them. One is you can shake hands with them. One is you can give them a hug. You can pat on the back. The more the children get the touching, the more they are going to be healthy and happy. And the more the kids are away from the parents. You know, I see some homes, the kids are always kept away. Ye teri plate, ye teri jaga, ye tera bichana, ye tera. and then they don't touch. And then they are always maintaining a very social distance where it has to be intimate distance. These are the kids who will get into behavioral problems. These kids always long to be loved and touched and admired and hugged and kissed, and they don't get it. And because they don't get it, they crave for it. And then if they crave for it, then they crave in different ways. They talk about health problem. मुझे बुखार आज मुझे आंख में सभी दर्द हो रहा है, किसको बोले तो अम्मी जाको उनको लपट लेती, जरा प्यारा करती, अयो मेरा बच्चा मेरी बच्ची कहती, तब उनको लव मिलता है. And that means to say, whenever they want to feel love, they have to fall sick. And you're teaching them this by not touching them often. If you have watched this advertisement from Vicks, I know Vicks Vapor Out is a beautiful advertisement if you can watch it, especially the advertisement which used to run about, say, 10 years ago. They always used to show how to apply Vicks with your hands, not a spray. Okay, I'm talking about the gel that you take in your hands, and the mother will put it onto the chest of the child, and the child starts breathing properly. Have you seen that ad? And in that ad, they always used to mention that touch therapy. Vicks practices touch therapy. You know why? The moment the mother touches the child, half the medicine is already given there. For example, Vicks, it does not need Vicks. If mother and the father can touch the child with love, care, it can do wonders. Many diseases escape the moment they do that. And then the Vicks therapy is done by touch therapy. They ask you to put the Vicks on your palm and then rub it on the chest of the child so that he or she can start breathing properly. And this is the touch therapy. So body language is the touch, and it is the gestures that you use between each other, and that all happens in silence. And if I observe a couple who are walking on the road, and then if I see that they're touching each other and then doing it unconsciously, I know that they are deeply in love and they respect each other. They are intimate with each other. I also see the couple, the husband is walking 2 steps behind the husband, the wife is walking, and they're behaving as if they are strangers. And there's a lot of respect, and there is lack of love and intimacy. And that same thing happens with the parents. If you see the parents are interacting with the kids, especially the dads, the dads don't touch their babies. Mothers are, by nature, they always are, lifting the babies right from the moment they are born. The fathers need this training. They don't touch the babies. They don't do high fives with them. They don't encourage them. They need at least the first 10 years is very crucial. After that, they start growing up and all that. That's a different story. But even then, they require, because they are your kids. But body language is this the language that we are missing? Yes, answer is yes. And this is where I started with the sentence. If you don't understand my silence, you will never understand my words. Interesting, enjoying. You want to build up rapport with your students. You're a trainer, touch your students. And you're a male teacher and you have boys, touch, high fives, shake hands. If you're a female teacher, your female students, touch them, high fives, hug them. They will love you. They will fall in love with the teacher. And once they fall in love with the teacher, you can teach any science, any subject, any topic easily. If they don't like the teacher, they will never bother to do well in your studies. It's a natural phenomena which many people do not understand it. I'm very happy with the responses that I'm getting on the chat. Now, if you are finding this topic interesting, if you're finding this training interesting, just put in one yes on the chat. I know that you are all there with me. And then with this background, I'm going to take you through the science of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I want to see that yes happening. And I see most of my ISCC members are not keeping the videos on. And I wish they would keep the videos on. Yes, Imran sir, is there any instructions on that?
Thank you so much, sir. It's going very well. I'm really enjoying this session, and I'm sure everybody is actually looking forward for more information coming in. Just a little feedback, sir. If you could step 2 steps back, because you're getting too close to the camera, and this is getting streamed live on YouTube, and we have other members who are actually watching it on the YouTube live. And thank you every single member of ISCCB and the student community of Professors, organization and the group of institutions. Thank you so much for being here. It's really nice and exciting to see you all. As Rafi sir has been requesting, if you can keep your video on. What is happening right now is there's a reading which is going on right now in Rafi sir, right? He wants to pick up somebody with a different eye movement, body posture, so that we can see each other and learn from them. And I know in the given pandemic, everybody is with their mask on. The best way we have is the eye movements. And right now, the moment is going to come in where you're going to be talking about the eye movements right now. And if you're not going to keep your video on, look at how conscious you are about your own body language. I think, Rafi sir, this is what I'm able to identify.
Well, I truly respect Imran sir. Thank you very much for your support. I now get to understand all these reasons. Some of them are pleading that they cannot put it on because of certain reasons. I respect your privacy. And then I only wish that you can learn better if you can do live sessions with me. It's okay if you have any constraints of doing so. Well, with this background, we will now step into the science of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Now, I would like to ask this question. How many people are already aware of what is Neuro-Linguistic Programming? You know what is this? Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you have read about it. Maybe somebody has spoken to you about it. Or you're a total stranger. I don't know anything about what is this NLP. I don't know. So whatever background you come from, would you please put it on the chat? Heard about it, know about it, don't know about it. And then all that will help me to connect with you effectively. Well, there are some requests. People are saying that use some of the Hindi and also Kannada words. I would love to do that. Thank you very much for your feedback. I'd like to use some Urdu words. And then I know some of Tamil and Telugu words, but I'm not that fluent in that language. I can use some Malayalam. I can see a big smile on Ashik when I say I can speak some Tamil words because he's a die-hard Tamil fan. And then his family comes from that background. So with due respect to all those wonderful languages that we have in this country, unity with diversity background, I would love to use as much as I can. Thank you very much for your interaction on the chat. Now, let me introduce formally to you what is NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And here it is on your screen. Neuro means the nervous system that you have it in your body, the neurochemical response that is created in internal sensory response, and it is resulting behavior that is modification in external things. That is neuro. And linguistic, what does it actually mean? Learn digitalization words that trigger neurochemical responses. That means the words that you use, once you feel the words and your nervous system feels the emotions, and then it uses certain words to express. It may be body language or it may be a spoken word. Now it will be the programming. That means we have a chance to program your neuro response to the situation that occurs. And you can restructure and then verbally, non-verbally, psychologically, and then you can put it in your subconscious mind. Neuro-linguistic programming, the meaning of the same is on your screen. You can take a screenshot, make a note of it, and then always be careful that this powerful science is in your life. You learn about this, you do some Googling on this, you can read some books on this. This is a wonderful science. This was started by two gentlemen in US, 1980s. There's a person by name John Grinder and Richard Bandler. John Grinder and Richard Bandler, these two gentlemen came in together and they did one experiment, and they did something very strange experiments. They understood that the medical science understand the disease of a person by studying the disease. So how does the medical science operate? You have a disease, they study the disease, they find out a medicine for the disease, and then they treat the disease. And that is how the doctors are trained to do. They first find out what is wrong with the body, and then they find out a cure, and then they become doctors. Now, Richard Bandler and John Grinder did something special, something very smart. They said, we are not going to study the disease. We're not going to study the diseased person or the disease by itself. We are going to study people who are healthy, who are happy. And then what makes them healthy and happy? And what is the science behind that? So they did the opposite of what medical science does. And they started doing research on people who are stronger, who are happier, and who produce remarkable results. And what do they do? What is that they have inside of them? What mechanism? And they studied those people who did extraordinary work. And then the result which came out became the science of NLP. They discovered that the winners, the successful people, the extraordinary people, they always do things in a different way, and they have a different neuro feelings, and they use different words and body language, and a result of which they produce immaculate results. And they published this finding by using the science of NLP, and then their programs in NLP became so popular that now NLP has been taught worldwide. And of course, there are many people who have done research work and they have upgraded the science time and again. And then I am so glad that I did this program about 15 years ago. And then I started using this science and started understanding people like never before, and then started reading the body language and finding out the internal feeling of a person who is extraordinary, his energy levels, his body language, his expressions, his tonality, his words. And then we also find out that if you have a role model, for example, you see somebody that you admire, and then you are so impressed, and then you want to be like him, and you want to achieve things like him, the science of NLP says, study that person. Study that person in detail and watch how does he move. Listen to his words and watch his body language and follow it, adapt it, mirror him. And then very soon you will create the result that he's creating. And this is NLP. For example, I'll give you some cricketing examples that our country is crazy about cricket. If you look at Sachin Tendulkar, and then he started to come onto the scene when he was about 16-year-old. In 1989, he made his debut against Pakistan in Karachi. December, he scored his 57 runs, and he saved the match for the country. But what many also do not know, in the same test match, in his first innings, maybe the second innings that he played, a bouncer from the Khadi News hit his on nose, and then he started bleeding, and then he continued to play. So all these are the different aspects that you can watch in the film Sachin Billion Dreams. This is a real story. And now Sachin, when he came onto the international cricket, the way he was batting, the way he would take his stance for batting, and the way he wore his pants, the cricket experts always said that he's copying Sunil Gavaskar. He is batting like Sunil Gavaskar. He's wearing the pads like Sunil Gavaskar. And then very soon we saw Sachin outperforming Sunil Gavaskar. And if you can understand, yes, perhaps Sachin started following Sunil Gavaskar subconsciously. Then he created his own style, and then he became more popular and more successful in batting with comparison to Sunil Gavaskar. Now, years later, there is another gentleman who came in, and his name is Virendra Sehwag. Now, Virendra Sehwag, the way he walks, the way he takes his batting style, all looks like Sachin Tendulkar. Yes or no, tell me, if you have observed him carefully. Now, many cricketing experts again said he's copying Sachin Tendulkar. Now, he started batting, and then he became so popular, he broke some records. He may not have become as successful as Sachin Tendulkar is, but definitely he copied something about Sachin, maybe consciously or subconsciously, but he produced remarkable results. This is NLP. Follow people and learn from their body language, learn from their tonality, learn from their psychology, learn from their facial expressions, learn from their words, and then you imbibe them in your own way, and then you produce a result. And this is called as NLP, mirroring a person that you admire, and then only to become better than him. Now, the principle in NLP says that anybody you copy, you can become better than them. And then there is a principle which says a copy can be better than the original. And this is a remarkable statement. I would like to make a note of this. A copy can be better than the original. That's the principle by which NLP works. So neuro-linguistic programming is all about studying successful people, mirroring them, copying them, and extending ourselves into that role, and then doing it in your own way. Is it mimicry? Is it copycat? Definitely not. Now, there are many people who do mimicry of famous actors. Like example, people can speak like Dilip Kumar, like Amitabh Bachchan, like Dr. Rajkumar, like, all that stuff. They can mimic. But mimicry artists are not actors. You need to understand this. They are not actors. They are mimicry artists. They don't act. They copy and then they enact somebody. So NLP does not promote mimicry. NLP promotes learning by using their body language and words in a way that you can be better than them. So it is beyond copying and mimicking. It is mirroring. Mirroring is to exactly follow the same things and then produce a different result in your own life. And that is what NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is all about. Now, I'll take a pause here, and then I will give you an opportunity to ask me any question that you want to ask me, because the topics from here on is going to be intense. I'm going to show you the eye movements. I'm going to talk about the breathing pattern. It's going to be intense. And right now at this junction, if you have any question to ask me about NLP, about body language, I'll be very happy to answer some questions. If you don't, then I'll jump into the next level. And then we'll talk about the eye movements and how we can find out about a person. So right now, I think I will avoid taking questions and then jump into the sensory acuity of a person. What sense of yourself is more active? And then you'll find out about yourself. I think the questions are very much on the chat. And then if the belief system is missing, then will copying helps? That's from Gauri from Gujarat. Very good question. Abdul Arshad says, no, I heard about it. And thank you very much for the interaction here. Now we will take one step ahead and then go through to find out what is your sensory acuity. That means what is your strength as a person. There are three ways of a person who can learn and who can use it for the maximum benefits. Well, there are people, you might have heard about people who are labeled as visual people. Visual people, auditory people, kinesthetic people. There are three different kinds of people. Now, what is visual person? What is the meaning of a visual person? Now, if you have a visual student in your classroom and you're a teacher, if you're teaching to a visual person, he would like to take the examples of where you can describe the situation. Let him imagine the situation. You will beautify that situation. You colorify the situation. And then those examples, he will remember it easily. He thinks in visuals. For him, pictures, videos, photos makes a lasting impression, and he'll quickly grab and then understand. Now, I want you to answer this question. Are you a visual person? If you are a visual person, then you will learn faster in visuals, that is videos and pictures and also live interaction, visual people. There are some people who are called as auditory people. Now, auditory people, they are going to follow the words, the sounds, and the pronunciation and the diction. And they are all about the sound. Their learning system is all about auditory person. They want to listen. Like for example, so many people have kept the videos off in spite of the fact they can put the videos on. These are the people perhaps who are auditory people. They want to listen and learn, and that's why they don't want to keep the videos on. I now understand it completely. So you can continue to be an auditory person and listen to me and then make sense of it. I welcome you because I think you are an auditory person. Okay, now the third category is very interesting, and these are people who are called as kinesthetic people. Now, kinesthetic people are those people who learn with emotions. You need to give them emotional examples, and they connect with you. Okay, and now for an auditory person, you need to sing, you need to create some sounds. He will remember your lesson. And for a visual person, you need to create a scene and show them a scene or a picture or a video. They learn effectively. Now, what is your sensory acuity? What is your strength? Are you a video, are a visual person? Are you an auditory person? Are you a kinesthetic person? Now, which person are you? Now, just how do I find out, sir? What is the way I can figure out whether I am one of these categories? Now, close your eyes, everyone. Everyone, close your eyes. Don't worry. I'm not going to rob anything from you. I can't. In the live sessions, people don't close their eyes. Yo, man, kya muslito? Okay, so close your eyes. And now I'd like to give an example and then visualize this example. And then I think perhaps we can figure out what is your learning ability, which is effective. Now, I would like you to imagine now, okay? Imagine and visualize that you are sitting by a lake. Imagine and visualize that you are sitting by a lake. It's a beautiful silent lake with flowers around the garden. And as you are looking into that beautiful stillness of the lake, you can hear the sounds, the chirping sounds of the birds flying around. The only thing that is disturbing the silence of that lake is the chirping of the birds, and they are doing it in so different ways and so many different sounds from different birds that are flying around. And as you are watching the stillness of the lake and you are hearing to the birds, you remember somebody who is very important in your life. And that very important person is not there with you by the side of the lake. And you begin to miss that person. You wish that person would be next to you. You wish that person could be with you in that scene. And you miss him or her badly. And because you miss him or her badly, tears start flowing from your eyes because you miss them really badly. The weather is beautiful, the lake is so good, and the birds are flying, and the garden is so beautiful, and you are all alone and you miss the most important percent of your life. And because you miss him, you start to feel that love and the pain of not having him next to you, and the tears start rolling down your cheeks. Wonderful. 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 Now, stay there with your eyes closed. I will recall numbers from 10 back to 1. As I count back numbers from 10 back to 1, at the count of 1, you will gently open your eyes. I repeat, I will count back numbers from 10 back to 1. At the count of 1, you will gently open your eyes. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently open your eyes. Gently open your eyes. Gently open your eyes. I'm sure you all enjoyed this scene and this visualization and the feeling and the sound of the birds around. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. How many of you were able to see the pond, that lake, clearly, and then you still remember the picture? Okay, now how many of you remember the sounds of the birds flying around, the chirping of the birds clearly? And that is the most important thing that you remember of this. And how many of you really felt the pain of missing that person? You had tears rolling down your cheeks. Which of these three were prominent in your memory? Did you hold the pictures very prominently? The picture of the lake and the garden around? Or did you hold the sound of the birds chirping around? Or did you feel the pain of the person who you missed? Which is the important memory of these three things we did? Okay. Now, you cannot be equal all the time. You will have one of them overtaking the others. Okay. Now, those who were able to remember the lake and the garden around clearly, now you are a visual person. Those who are able to remember the sound of the chirping of the birds around, you are an auditory person. And those who felt the pain and the tears, you are a kinesthetic person. Now, I would like to now know how many people saw the picture. You remember the pictures clearly. How many of you heard the birds clearly? You remember this. And how many of you felt the pain of missing the person? Well, I can see a couple of participants who had tears in their eyes, and especially if I who literally have to clear her tears as the program continued. And I would like to take upon Miss Mehreen here. Miss Mehreen, I saw that you were clearing the tears as the program, as the visualization was on. So I would like to interact with you, and then you can unmute yourself, and then you can speak to me. And then in the meanwhile, all others who had the tears in your eyes can also put in your name. I would like to interact with you. Now, you will have grading system for all these three sensory perceptions that you had. If you are ruled by the visuals, you'll put visual as leading, and then followed by either auditory or kinesthetic. But the leading perception of yours is one thing. So it can be 1, 2, 3, like many of them are having it. For Mehreen Tarannum Mehreen, if I'm correct, pronouncing your name correctly, ma'am, would you please, your name, 1 minute, hold on. I'll just take out your name from the screen name that we have here. And then, yes, Shifa Mehreen. Yes, Shifa Mehreen. Am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, you're right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. Wa alaikum assalam, brother.
Thank you very much. Sister, I saw that you had tears in your eyes. And then those who are observing you can also see that, yes, your eyes are slightly wet. I would like to know the reason why and what happened.
I was missing the person you told. So I just cried. Yeah, I found out that I'm a very emotional person. That I fear that my loved ones will go away from me.
May Allah bless them with long life and health. We make du'as for the people that you love. And we respect your feelings, sister. It's perfectly okay to have tears in your eyes. That shows how loving person you are and how much you respect and love the people in your family. May God bless you and all your family members. Ameen. However, you need to understand you're a kinesthetic person.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes, you got it pretty clear. And we also got it from you pretty clear.
Thank you.
And we always appreciate people like this who participated. Now, this sister is participating wholeheartedly. Okay, she's not hiding her feelings. She's not hiding her tears. She's just participating the way I expect people to follow, because that is how you learn. And this sister will learn so much because she let her feel the emotions. And then we discovered that she's a kinesthetic person by nature. Now, having discovered that you are a kinesthetic person, your motivation, your inspiration will only come when you feel the situation.
Yes.
Okay, because you're a feeling person. And then, so whenever you feel it, you will get it in your system faster. So when you meet people who you admire, who you want to become like, who you mirror, who you take it as role model, get their feelings. Ask them, how do you feel? And then get the feeling inside you like that. And then very soon you'll be able to mirror them and then do wonderful work in your life.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to add one thing. If it's just a short experience I had. I just did a startup now. I have a startup now. I'm into gift wrapping and packaging. So I definitely found out the why for my startup. That is, I have to connect with people's emotions. So after that, alhamdulillah, I have great results. Alhamdulillah, and you made it very clear now that I'm in a proper place now. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.
My honor. May Allah bless you with more. Sister, I would like to know, you're from which city and what is your startup all about?
This is the Art or App
Your startup,
Studio.
you said about packaging.
Yeah. This is something unique I have started. We have actually the baskets which are manufactured in PU leathers and Canadian leathers. And we make gift hampers as well as trousers, and I do packaging with different techniques, which is all related to people's emotions, because gifts are something very special for everyone to gift. So I am,
and it's a sunnah to give and receive gifts.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Anyone, you give me a gift, I'm very happy. I'm very, impressed, and you make it with an emotion. That's what I am into. I design it so that it is very special for the person who is giving it. I recently did one. I was very much astonished that, I do connect with people's emotions. I was very happy with that.
I'm so happy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put you into a startup which is connecting with the kind of person you are. And then I can only see that you will thrive in your business and you grow and then you expand your business. And then may Allah bless you with all the barakah in your business.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Word of caution to you, however, sister, because you're emotional by nature, you're a kinesthetic person, it will be always possible for people to emotionally blackmail you. I'm using the extreme word, emotionally misuse your emotions. Be careful you don't fall a trap into that. So people don't trap you by using this. So it's like the same sword with two sides. And then it's like two edges of the same sword. So make sure that you use it wisely and have the maturity to understand whether you are being misused by people. If so, then you have the right to put your foot down and say no. So that maturity you have to bring, that balance you have to bring, rest of it is going to be taken care of.
Inshallah, sure, definitely. Learned a lot. Thank you. Till now, it's a very great
You're
session.
most welcome. May Allah bless you.
Ameen.
Thank you, sister. Okay, this was Sister Mehreen here from Bangalore. And then I would like to take up maybe one male member who is a kinesthetic person by nature. So if you are a male participant and you felt the kinesthetic part, you felt the tears, I would like to have your name on the chat, please, so that I can take you for an interaction, couple of exchange of information. And please put in your name if you are a male participant and you found out that you are a kinesthetic person by nature. I would like to see your name on the chat so that I can unmute yourself and then I can talk to you. Is there any male who felt that you are a kinesthetic person, you felt the pain? No? No male? Absolutely?
We are checking
and
on
then
the chat
these
box,
people,
sir. Yeah, we are checking on the chat
yeah,
box.
you can check on the chat box. Yes.
Okay,
now
yes,
Habib,
Habib,
Mr.
yes.
Habib. Okay, Habib, would you please unmute yourself and I would like to interact with you?
So we have sent you the prompt.
So now you're going
to unmute yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Assalamu
So
alaikum.
brother Habib, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So brother, we found out that you are a kinesthetic person. You just said yes to it. Now, would you please identify what is that you felt about the person? You missed the person and did you feel the tears in your eyes?
Because I know NLP and I have been, through the session, I was able to control that. But usually it happens with me whenever I travel and all that. For business, the first thing I see is, okay, if I have a situation or something, I say, okay, if my daughter is not with me, my wife is not with me. So this is what, pinches me all the time. And when I go and narrate, they say, okay, you're going around, roaming around and coming and just giving these phrases to us. So
अकेले जाको, अकेले फिरले को, मजे ले लेको, घर को आको, I missed you, John. I missed you.
Yeah, you're saying I missed you. So I say, fine, that's what I can say, because I can't, take all of you all the time with me. But that's what, and whenever in business scenarios, when I talk, so I see myself switching over to the emotional side of it, the impact.
Wonderful.
And so, and many times people say that, though I am also a ruthless execution person at the same time, but what happens is I may be a mix of, auditory person, so more than visual. Sometimes what I hear affects me.
Of course.
What I do. And at the same time, emotions of it. So I extract emotions out of any situation. So that's
of
where.
Course. The kinesthetic part is the leading part of your personality. Right. You are led by kinesthetic, and then audio and visuals will follow. Yeah. Now, I would like to bring to your notice. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah, and they say, men don't cry, but I don't see anything wrong with that.
Absolutely. I believe that the stronger you are, the emotional that you are. And then only strong people have emotions, and then emotional people do have tears. It's okay to cry. And if you're a man, you cry, it's definitely okay. And the reason why I was particularly looking for a male participant, and then I able to pick you up, I want to remove the notion from the participants that only the girls and the ladies become emotional, men don't become emotional. That's a myth. And you can see Mr. Habib here with us, and then he's perfectly okay to feel the situation, to have tears and miss his family when he's traveling around. And it's perfectly okay. That shows how much intensely he loves his family. And given a chance, he would love to take them and then also travel with them. May Allah make it easy. And then your family will bless me for giving this advice to you. Brother, where are you from and what do you do?
I'm from Hyderabad, but I'm right now in Riyadh. So I'm in Saudi Arabia for last 20 plus years, 27 years actually. So I manage 2 companies. So I'm about to start another company in India. So I may be relocating in a few months from here. Yeah.
Very good. May Allah bless you with more companies.
Right.
And we welcome you to IICCB. And I know you're a part of the IICCB already. And then your experience and your skills will help the entire community to go to the next level.
Thank you very much.
May Allah bless you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Well, this was an example of how you could be a man and you could have emotions and you can have tears because you're led by kinesthetic part of it. Now, let me quickly take one person who is a visual person. You saw the visual of the pond and all the birds around possible. You saw them instead of hearing them, and you have a clear memory, visual memory of the example I gave you to visualize. So I would like to have possibly one male or a female. Imran sir, I think you can pick me up one candidate from the male candidates, one from the female candidates.
Yeah, dear participants, yeah, please type in your name if you want to have a conversation with sir, and we'd love to have you, and we'll prompt you to unmute, and you can have a conversation.
Surely, and thank you. And then visual Wasim Kareem, Gaurav Agarwal.
And we also had previously
Mahesh, thank you very much.
Sir,
Ashik, thank you very much. Now you understand that you learn from the visuals, and that's why you should be on the video. And then you have to look at, yes. Okay. Now, Imran sir, we will go to a slide to explain what does your eyes do. Now, you found out about yourself, whether you are a visual person, whether you're an auditory person, whether you are a kinesthetic person. You found out about yourself. Now, how do you find out about the person with whom you are interacting? You cannot ask him to close your eyes. No, I will give an example. Then you tell me you are a visual person or an auditory person. You cannot do this with the people with whom you meet up. But obviously, you want to know what kind of a person he is, and how can I connect with him? So what do you do in that circumstances? I'm going to now show you how to find out, observing their eye movements, whether they are visual people, auditory people, or kinesthetic people. So you're going to observe their eyes, and the way they move their eyes, you'll find out what kind of a personality this person has, and is he a visual or auditory or kinesthetic person. So those who are excited to learn about how to decode a person's eye movements to find out his sensory perception, then you can put in your yes on the chat box. And then you can just put yes, and then I'll know that, okay, you are ready to learn more. And then we are going into a slide which talks about eye movements, and then the way people move their eyes, you can find out what is their sensory perception. Thank you very much for your interaction on the chat box. I'm really happy. I am glad that you are all participating so effectively. May Allah bless you all. Now, let me now take up an example on the screen for you all. We are going to show you how to decode the eyes and find out what kind of a person that you are interacting with. Now, look at this picture on the screen for you. And then we are showing you how, if the eyes moves in a particular direction, it indicates a particular information about a person. We have got some marking both on the right and the left of their eyes. Now imagine that it is on your eyes. Okay. Now, if you are interacting with a person and you are saying hi, hello, and introducing yourself, and then they are introducing to you, or they're giving you a presentation, or you're discussing something, or you're in a meeting, and then you observe the eyes of a person, and then you see that they usually go to the right side and they go up on the right side. And then they are looking to the right side. If you look at me, then you'll find out how my eyes are now moving to my right. And I speak to you like this. My name is Rafiullah Beg. I am an NLP practitioner. I'm a handwriting expert. And I speak to you like this. Are you able to decode that my eyes are going up to the right? If you're able to decode my eyes going up to the right, you can just put in one yes on the chat so that I know, okay, you're following me, and then I'm connecting with you. So if my eyes are going to the right and up, and then I'm talking to you, that is called as visual construction. And if I'm not looking up to my right, I'm looking to the shoulder to my right. I'm looking at the shoulder level to my right, and then I'm using this as I'm talking to you and say, I belong to Bangalore, and I have this passion for training. I may look to my right at my shoulder level. That means AC. AC is auditory construction. VC is visual construction. And if I look down to my right, if I look down to my right, I'm feeling the situation. Usually people who feel the situation, they look down to the right, and it is very subtle. You need to observe it carefully. That's why I wish you can put your videos on, but unfortunately, they have reasons now to put your videos on. So your eyes keep moving it, and then you can observe the person carefully and find out whether he is a visual person, auditory person, or a kinesthetic person. If it is going to the right and it is going up, it is visual construction. If it's going to the shoulder level to the right, that is called as auditory construction, that is AC. And then if you're looking down to the right, I'm feeling the situation, that is kinesthetic. Now, if I do the opposite and I go to my left and then look up, my eyes go to my left, not your left, the person's left. and my eyes go to my left and I look up, that is called as visual recall. Visual recall. I'm recalling with my visual memory. And then if I'm looking at the shoulder level to my left, I'm recalling using my auditory memory. That means auditory recall. And if I'm looking at down to my left, then I am talking to myself. I'm having a discussion in silence to myself. So these are the indications of eyes moving up to the right, to the left, to the shoulder level, and looking down. All these three indications are given to you when you find out the eye movements of a person. Okay, I read out from the chart on the screen for you. The eye accessing chart is easiest to use if you superimpose it over someone's face, so that when you see that the person is looking in a particular direction, you can also visualize the label for that eye accessing cue. Now, if you superimpose this on a person and then talk to him and he's doing this, going to the right and he's going up, his visual construction. If he's going to the left and he's going up, it is visual memory, that is reconstruction and remembrance. And if he's going to right at the shoulder level, it is auditory remembrance. And then if he's going to the left, it is auditory. I'm superimposing, and now I'm giving it to you now. So if I'm going to my right and above, visual reconstruction, my right and to the shoulder level, it is auditory reconstruction. And then to my right, I'm feeling the situation. To my left, I am having visual construction and auditory construction and also kinesthetic. So these are the examples that I have shared with you. And find out this, you can take a screenshot of this. And then you have any questions, you can ask me, you can interact with me, and then it's going to be a lovely session. I think I have about 15 minutes to complete my session. At 8:30, I'm going to be done with my session. And from 8:30 to 8:45, I'm going to have interaction with you. And then we'll be done with this session maximum by 8:45. And if you have any questions, you can definitely go ahead and ask me the questions. And then this is a very delicate thing to practice, to look into the eyes of a person and find out he's going to left, because the eyes keep moving. It goes left, right, and center, and it's looking down, looking up, and going to the sides. What do I make out of this? Well, for that, first you need to learn to observe the eyes. And that's where your body language, your NLP science comes into picture. And most of the time we don't do it because we are so nervous when we meet new people. We are not sure what to speak, how to speak and all that. And because of this nervousness, you do not pay attention to the eye movements. But if you can calm down and then have focus and then relax, and then you can look into the eyes of a person effectively well, and then you can decode the information. Well, the science of NLP is a vast science. And today, in this 1.5 hours of presentation that I have with you all for, I can introduce the NLP for communication purpose. Now, how is it going to be relevant in your business? When you're interacting with your prospective clients, with your prospective business investors, you can always find out what is their lead. And if they're a kinesthetic person, if they are auditory person, if they are visual person, then you can give them visual examples. And then they will connect with you. You build up what is called as rapport. Now, rapport is to feel the other person comfortable in your conversation. In a few minutes of conversation, you make him feel as if you know him for a few years. That is rapport. How comfortable do people become in your company? How comfortable they can express their ideas in your presence? That is rapport. And you can all do this by building up rapport immediately by identifying whether he's auditory person, visual person, kinesthetic person, and then you connect with him. For example, for brother Habib, if I'm interacting with him, because he's a kinesthetic person, I can connect with him and I can give emotional examples. Habib bhai, this is going to change the people's life. We are going to help thousands of millions of poor people, and then we are going to win their hearts. And these are the examples that he would love to hear. If I speak to him in the sense, Habib bhai, you know what, we can easily make 20 crores. He will be happy, definitely, but he will not be impressed. If I say that 20 crore people will benefit, and then we can make definitely a good profit, but people will feel so delighted, they'll be happy, they will change their life, they will have a better lifestyle, he will be in for it. Of course, we all want money, but we don't eat money. We feel. Why do we want money? You know, why people want to have money? It's a feeling. I got 100 crore, it's a feeling. And I got $100 million, it's a feeling, it's a feeling. People are behind the feeling. And then once you capture the feeling, especially when they're kinesthetic people, they're in for you. And you know how they refer to you? Oh, when they meet you next time, say, Rafi bhai, oh, it was wonderful talking to you the other day. You are with so much of impressive examples. And so there's a rapport. People connect to you in minutes and they feel that you know them for years now. How many people would like to build rapport with people immediately? The moment you meet them, in few minutes of talk, you'll leave a lasting impression. If you want, then put your thumbs up like this and say, yes, I want to have that kind of a rapport. It's okay if you look like a child. You know, only children do all this stuff. And then some people say, yeah, kya, you know, karne so chote bacche kare, aisa karna karte. Now, you can only learn when you become a child. And I'm a child at heart. You know, I can crack jokes about children. I love to be with children. And anybody who loves to be with children can be with anybody. Because you love being happy, smiling, and enthusiastic. You can't do business. I see people attending business meetings and they're like stone people, you know, they sit like this, then they don't move their head also. And they want people to be impressed and invest 100 crore rupees. They will not. Definitely not. You need to have more than that. And perhaps you can pick up all these things and then use it in your day-to-day conversations and pick up people, especially the kids. You know why? You know why some teachers are so popular and some people, the students just hate them? Because teachers don't connect with their sensitive acuity. See, if I enter a classroom and there are 100 students there, I make sure that I give them visual example, I give them auditory examples, I give them kinesthetic, a mix and match. Because I never know out of 100 people, who is kinesthetic, who is visual, and who is auditory, I don't know. But if I can spend them 2-3 days with them, then I can definitely know. But I go to a presentation, maybe do the training program, and then I want to connect with all of them. What I do, I give all the 3 examples. Sometimes I give them vivid description of how you will look when you grow up, when you become an IAS officer, your uniform, and people salute you, visual examples. And auditory examples, you know, your name will come on the radio. People will talk about you. People will mention your name, auditory examples, and they get inspired by it. And kinesthetic, oh my God, when you put that uniform and become that IPS officer, you have the stars on your shoulders and you will be respected for your dress and you are a police officer. People salute you. They admire. Your parents will have tears in their eyes when they look. These are all kinesthetic examples. And then children love all this. And I wish all the teachers here, you mix and match kinesthetic, auditory, and also visual examples. Children love you. Whether they are visual people or they are auditory people, they love. And you can do it in your business. You can do it with your staff. You can do it with your customers. And it all takes a few minutes of training and few hours of studying. And then you are like this. You become a magnetic personality. The reason why I repeatedly ask people to put the videos on, because if they can see me and I can see them, you know, I can connect them visually. And then if I can let them speak to me, like I can let a couple of participants to speak, I can hear them, I can give that impression that they are connected with me, even though they may be auditory by nature. And then I can also become kinesthetic by nature. If I talk to, say, Shifa Mehreen and talk to Habib, I will become a kinesthetic person. And then they build up rapport with me and they feel, oh, Rafi bhai, Habib will go, Rafi is like me, he thinks like me. We have so much in common. And that I did it by using the NLP principle. And I remember this beautiful hadith. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, whenever he discussed with people, he used to give them complete attention. Complete. In fact, there is an example. He says he used to turn his chest towards the person who is interacting with him. And that is an indication of how you can give respect to people. We don't look at people when they speak to us. We miss out this important practice. You know how people, today, parents especially, they talk to children at home, and they're looking at the TV. Jaako homework kar, jaako homework kar. And they're looking at the TV. And TV off kar liya to, choti TV aa jati hai. Wo badi TV, diwal par choti TV hath mein. Wo choti hati TV, mobile phone. Homework kya kare to, kare homework kar, nahi to dekh mara khata hai. TikTok dekh lo, maarti ho. And then they don't look at it. This is how children, see, when you take the child, look into his eyes, say, what do you want to become? तुम्हें बड़े होकर क्या बनती? दर्दन आदमी ये ना बकंती दियो, हेलो. You know, people love, they look into your eyes and बड़ा होकर IAS officer बनतो, pilot बनतो. Now they connect with that. Forget about children. Today, husband and wife don't look into their eyes and talk. And that's the reason why many marriages are not happy marriages, because देयर इज नो आई टू आई कॉन्टैक्ट. वो साइलेंस में अंख्यां को अंख्यां मिला को देख को एक दो बातें करे तो पूरी थकान चले जाए सारे दिन की. वो बेचारे को फुर्सत नहीं, घर को आया तो भी वो छोटी टीवी देखता है, नहीं तो बड़ी टीवी देखता है. वो बीवी की सूरत देख को बात करना भूल गए. कब देखता सको तो बीवी की सूरत, तो उसे बहुत गुस्सा आ जाना, खाने में नमक किस नहीं रहना, तब देखता अंख्यां फाड़ फाड़ को, नमक कहाँ है. प्यार से बोलता नहीं, प्यार से बोले तो अच्छा था. उन्होंने 10 बार पूछना, बीवी क्या जी, मैं मीठा पकाई थी ना, गुलाब जामुन खाई ना, क्या भी बोले नहीं ना, अच्छा लगा. अच्छा था, अच्छा था. Now that's where the communication gap. And the ladies also do the same thing. And the ladies, वो सलमान खान को देख लेता, सलमान खान, वो शाहरुख खान को वो दीवाने हो जाती. पांप वो शादी करे सो मर्द बाजू बैठा है, पूरी जिंदगी लगा दिया तुम्हारे पीछे. उन्हें उसे कभी देखो तुम्हें शाहरुख खान से अच्छे दिखती को भी बोलते नहीं, सलमान खान से अच्छे दिखती को बोलते नहीं. खाली तारीफा क्या करते हो, ऋतिक रोशन के जैसा रहना, सलमान के जैसा रहना. तुम्हारा नौशो है सो वो प्यार मोहब्बत उन्हें नहीं करता. जो शाहरुख खान है नहीं, वो तुम्हारी मोहब्बत तो उन्हें नहीं समझ सकता, उन्हें तुमने कर भी नहीं सकता. मगर तुम्हारा शौहर जो है नहीं, पूरी जिंदगी लगा दिया. उसे देख को बोलते नहीं, तुम्हें सलमान खान से स्मार्ट दिखने को बोल डालो. उन्हें 4 दिन नाचता, उन्हें दिल में नाचते रहता. मेरी बीवी मुझे इतना तारीफ करते, वो बोलते भी नहीं, वो सुनते भी नहीं, वो देखते भी नहीं, वो करते भी नहीं. हमारी जिंदगी में खुशियां हैं भी नहीं. Eye contact is very, very important. And all this is a part of the business. I believe in one thing very, very clearly. If you do not learn and improve yourself, your business will not improve. Your business is directly connected to your thinking, energy, and your enthusiasm. If you don't have this, you will never be a leader. For example, we have many people in IICCB who fall into this category. They're absolutely energetic. And they have got so much of enthusiasm. And I love to be with these people because they are so energetic. गुस्सा आया तो वैसा लड़ती, हंसे तो वैसा लड़ती. बीबीक्यू क्या वो बारबेक्यू पार्टी को गए तो वैसा खाती, पूरा इंटेंस. आधी गई खा को जाती गए तो बीबीक्यू में, बारबेक्यू. Okay, so ऐसा रहता है. So I think I am pretty much close to be completing with my presentation, and then I would open up a few minutes of interaction with you, and then develop yourself before you think about business. See, listen, businessman, if you're a businessman, man is the most important part of your business. If that man is not growing, if the man is not healthy, if the man is not with enthusiasm, energetic, वो business नहीं कर सकते भाई. वो सुस्त हो जाको, वो ego problem रख ले को, वो मैं कर को, वो जिंदगी में नहीं आते. So that's why if you look at Habib brother को देखो, इमोशनल होती को बोले, फैमिली को मिस होती को बोले, 2 कंपनियां चला रही, तीसरी कंपनी इंडिया में ओपन करती बोल रही. क्यों बोला? He is young at heart and he is enthusiastic, he is emotional, he can connect with people and people love these people. इनको देख तो मैग्नेट की तरह अटैक कर लेती. क्यों तो एहसास को कनेक्ट करती. He connects the emotion. He's born like that. And if you're not born like that, you can still do it by using your ability to visualize people, connect with people, and then make an impression with them. All great leaders create teams. People run your business. Please, for God, understand, listen, there is a difference between a business owner and a business manager. Most of the people I have seen is business managers. क्या कहते हो, एक बिजनेस चलाते रहते हैं, वो बिजनेस में रहे तो बिजनेस होता सो. कुर्सी पर कैश पर बैठे तो उस दिन कस्टमर ज्यादा, उस दिन व्यापार अच्छा चलता सो. कुर्सी पर नहीं रहता वो नायबातिश करेंगे अगर को बोलती सो. दिस इज बिजनेस मैनेजर्स. तुम्हें कभी भी बिजनेस में मल्टीप्लाई नहीं कर सकते. तुम्हारे ब्रांचेस, तुम्हारा इंटरनेशनल जाता नहीं, तुम्हें रहता का तुम्हारा बिजनेस अच्छा चलता, तुम्हें गए के बाद में बिजनेस कोलैप्स हो जाता. एंड मेनी पीपल थिंक ये बिजनेस कर गए, ये बिजनेस नहीं है, ये बिजनेस मैनेजर. यू आर वर्किंग इन द बिजनेस. तुम्हें बिजनेस के वास्ते काम कर लग बनी सो. बिजनेस ओनर को तो क्या मालूम, बिजनेस ओनर को तो तुम्हें नहीं रहते सीट पर, तुम्हें कहाँ की रहती. तुम्हें जाको इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करको, तुम्हारे प्रोडक्ट इंटरनेशनल में तुम्हें एक्सपोज करते रहती, शेयर करते रहती, प्रेजेंट करते रहती. यहाँ इंडिया में तुम्हारा बिजनेस चलता रहता, तुम्हें नहीं रहते वहां. When you well in your absence, then you are a business owner. When your business cannot run without you, then you are a business manager. And most of them are business managers because they don't want to learn. They don't want to attend training programs. They don't want to exercise. They don't want to have health. They don't want to be happy. इनको क्या कर को बोले तो बिजनेस का तो हमेशा बिजी रहना, अच्छा पैसे कमा लेना, अच्छे मोटे हो जाना, 50 बीमारी आ जाना 50 साल को, हॉस्पिटल को आधे पैसे चले जाते हैं, आधे पैसे तुम्हें छोड़ को जाती हैं. No, that is not business. Absolutely. We have got it totally wrong in our mind. Business can multiply. My coach, Tony Robbins, he is a trainer like me, and he has about 25 to 30 companies. And they all run without him except 3-4 when he has to be there. And his last year's turnover, not 2020, 2019 turnover was over $6 billion. Yes, this is how businesses are run. And then if you cannot match up to this level, I am sure you are going to find it difficult. That's why people have a lot of health problems and they are not healthy. Look at Azim Premji, how healthy, how healthy and how he has maintained his body. And look at Narayan Murthy. Look at how these are the people who are multipliers. They are business multipliers there. Today, Infosys employs over 2 lakh people in the world. 2 lakh people is employed by Infosys. And you find an amazing leader in Narayan Murthy. You find an amazing leader in Azim Premji, who created Wipro, and then it has created jobs for lakhs of people across the world. And that is multiplying businesses. And now we have to understand this unique difference. I request the IICC members to focus on developing yourself first, and then you develop your businesses. And I'm very sorry to say this. I see most of our community members who are business managers, and then they don't focus on their health. I'm sorry if I'm making anything that is that you may not like it, but as a trainer, let me mention here. I see most of them having belly, and they बड़े पेटा रहती हैं उनके. उन्होंने चले तो पहले पेट जाता, बाद में उन्होंने जाती. ऐसे आदमी बिजनेस चलती हैं को बोलती. I wonder कितना enjoy करती हैं को बोल को मुझे मालूम नहीं कि तो पैसा रहता तुम्हारे पास में, मगर तुम्हारे पास में हेल्थ नहीं रही तो हॉस्पिटल में जाकर पैसे दे सकती हैं, हेल्थ नहीं आती, मेडिसिन मिलती पैसा से, डॉक्टर मिलता है, नर्स मिलती है, मगर हेल्थ नहीं मिलती. हेल्थ को तुम्हें बचाना, प्रिजर्व करना, प्रैक्टिस करना, एक्सरसाइज करना, डाइट करना, तब तुमने हेल्थ रह जैसो. तुम्हें पैसे कमा डाले तो पूरा कर डाल तुम्हें. मैंने if I have money I can do everything. You are wrong. Money cannot buy your health. So you need to focus on building your character, your health, your thoughts, and then your business will build upon itself. Foundation on which your business is run is your health, is your learning, your fitness, your enthusiasm. How many businessmen read a book? One page of the book. Nahi padhte. If you don't grow, you will not definitely. I'm very happy Shifa Merin does that. And that's, you have to focus. You have to develop your health and happiness, and then you can multifold your businesses. I think 8:30 close to now, and then I'm done with my presentation and the NLP and body language. I'd love to come back and give you more slides, more information, and more interaction maybe in the next few weeks. But at the moment, as we are concluding this session in next few minutes, I would like to take 1 or 2 participants to interact with me, and then you can give me, ask me your questions, and then in next 5-10 minutes, we'll be done. I'll also like to invite you for a special service that our company, I am a managing director of Handwriting Institute India Private Limited, a startup way back in the year 2000. And then I have my brother, who is a co-director, Imran Beg, on the program. And we have got the team members of our institute, the prestigious certified handwriting analysts, graphotherapy instructors. All our students are present on the program today. And on behalf of the entire fraternity of Handwriting Institute India, I would like to welcome you to avail the services of personal coaching. And we will do your personal coaching by analyzing your handwriting. And then we'll find out your true personality, your strengths and your weaknesses. And then you understand yourself, and you can use it for the betterment of yourself. And we do it absolutely free of cost for all the members of IICCB and their family members and their friends. And you don't have to pay us anything. So all that you have to do is send your handwriting sample, and we call you, analyze, and then we will give you the feedback, and then we'll be very happy to serve you. And how to send your handwriting samples and how to connect with us, Imran sir will speak to you on this. Possibly he will give you a link on which you can click and submit your handwriting samples. And then I would like to analyze and then give you the feedback. Right now, I would like to welcome all my Handwriting Institute India members to wave your hand, so that these are the people who are waving hand right now. These are the members of my prestigious Handwriting Institute India, and they come from different backgrounds. For example, Mufti Dr. Sajid Saab is all the way from Gujarat. and then he's participating with us. And then you've got people from Bangalore, people from Kerala, people from Bhopal, Delhi, and all these people, and also people from abroad. So thank you very much for one and all for being such wonderful participants. And I had wonderful interaction with you. However, I have got a few minutes before I can conclude this session, and then I'll take this opportunity to let you ask me any questions. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can put it on the chat, and I'll be happy to unmute and then ask you questions. In the meanwhile, Imran sir will give you the details of how you can connect with us for a free service on getting your handwriting analyzed.
Surely, sir. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and dear brothers and sisters. Let's bring applause for Dr. Rafiullah Beg for the wonderful, insightful, thought-provoking session. Jazakallah khair. And as Rafi sir said, this is a glimpse to the huge in there. There's a sea of learning when it comes to NLP and non-verbal communication. And what you saw was today is like the tip and the tip of the iceberg. But it was still an insightful and very thought-provoking session, sir. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. And we have shared a Google form on the link on the chat box. So if you're interested to get your handwriting analyzed, you can actually fill in the form, and me and my team will get in touch with you to tell you how to go about it. So we have some questions on the chat box. If you could answer it. We have a question asking, have a question for assessing people over the phone. How do we visualize, how do we, cater to the people?
Well, yeah, Imran, this is a question which relates to what I'm going through when people don't put the videos on. Well, you can talk to people on the phone, and then you can connect with them on the auditory level. Maybe make an impact on the auditory level. But, it's always good to see the person. At least we encourage people to meet. For example, my NLP sessions are on personal live sessions. When I meet people, I show them how to shake hands, how to maintain social distance, how to understand the eye movements, all the personal things, all our live things. We'll put a person on the dais and then read his eyes, and it's a beautiful thing, which we can't do it on the line, but we can still do it if people are ready to participate and then ready to volunteer, and then they go all out. Unfortunately, this online learning has limited the personal touch part of it. However, we can definitely overcome if people are enthusiastically participating and they are on the call, and then we can look into their eyes and the body language. But live sessions are much more fun. We hope we can do live sessions in future, inshallah.
Surely, sir. And I'd also like to acknowledge Azmat brother. Thank you so much for your support, always being there and making this event possible with your creative designs and inputs, and always being there much before time the session starts and supporting us. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, can we have a big applause for Azmat brother there? Thank you so much. And I also like to acknowledge our, the leader there, Nurul Amin brother. Thank you so much, Amin bhai. Constantly there, giving us insightful feedback and promote, making us part of this beautiful community of IISCB. Thank you so much. And all the wonderful members of IISCB. It was our pleasure being here and being part of you and your organization and contributing whatever little we could do. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for being here. And all the students of Rafi sir, thank you for being here. Yes, Azmat bhai, over to you.
My pleasure. Yes, Imran sir, just before Azmat bhai takes over, I would like to personally extend my thanks to the president of IISCB, Mr. Nurul Amin, who's participating with us all the way from Morocco. I request Mr. Nurul Amin to speak a few words about today's program. If he is on the line, and then he can come over and then give a few words of feedback on this program. Perhaps he can add up to what we did. He's in Morocco right now, as I understand. If he can connect with us, we'll be very happy to unmute him and let him have a word with us. And I will also take this opportunity to thank Farooq bhai, Tipu bhai, Azmat bhai, Sharif Saab, Amir Sharif Saab, and all the other members of IISCB, and who made it possible for this wonderful program. And also take this opportunity to thank Iftikhar bhai and all the lovely members for this wonderful support. If Nurul Amin Saab is available, I can request him to speak for a few words.
I did send the prompt, sir. I think sir is not there.
We can ask our Amir Sharif Saab, the secretary of IISCB. I can ask brother Farooq, who is the HR head of the thing, and then we can ask Tipu bhai. Maybe a few members can quickly pitch in and then share their feelings about this.
I
And
see
he's a
Amin Bhai is there, but he's unable to unmute himself, I guess. I see him in the participants list. Anyhow, it's a wonderful session as
okay.
always, Rafi sir, and it's always pleasure to attend your sessions, and it is a lot more insightful, and we really thank you for having done this program, and it has helped a lot of people to realize their personality type. And of course, this is more of a practitioner, I mean, level. And this NLP is very, very valuable to understand your personality types. Even I have done it to myself. I've really attended a lot of sessions and I paid lots of money. And when you're doing this, value-based session, which is totally free of cost to all the people, it is really, really worth a listen. And I wish that we continue this journey of learning your personality type, so on and so forth. So I request all the people, whoever has attended this, to enroll yourself to Dr. Afiullah Beg and get yourself trained professionally, and also understand the importance of understanding the various personality types, so that you can course correct if you're thinking that you're going wrong somewhere, and if you're finding it really difficult to have a verbal and non-verbal conversations with the people, it is really helpful. So it has really helped me when I learned way back in 2016-17 early. It helped me greatly to scale my business, alhamdulillah. So I learned the hard way. Now we have made it very, very easy, and that is what we always strive to do at IICCB. And on behalf of the entire team of IICCB, I take this pleasure and I take this honor to thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. May Allah give you lots and lots of success. And for all the people who have attended, it is a wonderful session, and thank you so much for joining in.
You're most welcome. I see Nurul Amin Saab just joined in. Can we unmute the president of
Yes,
IICCB to? Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Nur. Amin bhai.
Good afternoon, namaste, namaskara, vanakkam. I find all the people, including people from Kolkata, from South, from North, all of you are welcome here. And today I think we had a great session. Is exceptionally, well-trained, small short program by Dr. Afiullah. Dr. Afiullah Beg is always inspiring the youngsters. And I don't know what is the secret, Dr. Afiullah. Most of the time I have seen in your session, women dominates. What is the reason behind? There is something.
Well, that includes.
Find most of the sessions, women dominate, and women are your audience. It's good to see that women entrepreneurship. We also find in India, we want to make Nari Shakti. I think you are behind this inspiration of Nari Shakti. So we are very happy and glad that to have all of you. We respect your time which you have given, and I'm sure that you got some value out of this program. See, what we strive hard in IICCB is to give some value to our members and also to the general citizen of our nation who are striving hard to develop their entrepreneurship skills. So we are very happy that today's session was very successful, and I was throughout the session. I was there. I was there silently. I was observing. It's a well received session from Dr. Afiullah. We all learned a lot, and very something which I believe the concept of learning is till the time we live, till the last breath we take. We should not stop learning. And Dr. Afiullah is a great trainer. So we would seek all of you to connect with us in regular intervals, and we want you to give feedback about our programs which we run frequently. And we would be happy to conduct those programs and bring a lot of talented trainers like Dr. Afiullah and give you all the value additions to develop your skills in future as well. Thank you so much. Please visit our website IICCB and try to be part of this success story that we all have to make our India great. And we all are now struggling with Corona, but nevertheless Corona is too smaller for us. When we unite as a nation, we can overcome any challenge. And I am sure that today is an opportunity for all of us to prove to the world that we are always remain as one of the best in the world. And with all your support and assistance, we will make our India great. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I mean, I'll just answer your question of why I have women more in my audience. I'll give you my background. My parents have 7 children, and I occupy the 3rd rank. Just before I was born, they had the first girl child. After I was born, there were 3 girl childs after me. 3 girl childs after me. And then I think right from the birth, I have been associated with sisters, with friends, and all. And I deeply respect my mother, and at this, like all the women there in the world, I think they are more loving and more creative and more divine. And that's why I have more of them in my audience.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are slightly jealous. We don't have that kind of audience.
Inshallah, you'll have it in future.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think it's time to say goodbye to all of you. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for everybody for being here. Thank you for the entire team once again.